Welcome back to my second day debrief of AMZ Innovate 2023. Now, this is just covering day 2. You guys let me know if you want to hear my debrief on the whole conference, the conference as a whole. Shout out to Jared, Dimitri, and I'm sorry I'm forgetting the third partner in this, but great conference. I have some feedback in regards to the whole thing. Just let me know if you guys want it. So, day 2. Started out with a session by Logan Shirati, Right People, Right Seat. It was really about, there's no main Amazon hack, there's really just an efficient way to run your business. And you just have to make sure you have the right people in the right space. A point that drove him home was that you have to be able to work with just A-level employees. And by doing that, they treat the company as if it's their own. He even goes, owners, you should get used to the idea of giving up equity instead of just regular W-2 wages. It causes less of a churn rate, and to be honest, when myself, if I'm looking at the industry as a whole, if I'm looking at the just really the world, the professional world, the way it's been developing, you do have to. A high pay rate is not gonna cut it. You're going to have to give up equity. That is if you decide to take on employees. There are some workarounds, some outsourcing, some agency work you can do, but it's up to every operator to say how they want to operate their business. Nassim Saluji, that was also a fantastic lesson. He founded Carbon 6. I use a few of their programs. Wally Smarter, Seller Investigators. I used to use Pixelme, and he gave a more broad approach to how to run a business. It's not specific to e-commerce. A funny thing he pulled was, I knew nothing about e-commerce before I got into Carbon 6, which was pretty weird because he acquired like 16 companies in a span of like 12 months, some crazy number like that. And something he complimented was, at least given the track that the aggregators, Perch, Thrasio, have gone through, and now the difficulties they're facing, they at least did something novel. They did something unique, something different. He went into the complexities there on how to take that into account as a business owner. And then the founder of Prophecy actually gave a presentation, and I liked his number one approach of, I'm going to make your time as valuable to you as I appreciate. Meaning, time is such a limited asset. It's the only limited asset, and I'm going to respect it. So I'm going to give you a bunch of these templates. Side note, not just for him, but I don't know how I feel as a seller being treated as just a pawn, by being pixeled and targeted by certain offers and certain QR codes. It's uneasy at best. I mean, I know I'm going to be sold to, and I know I'm going to be marketed to, and it's just an uncomfortable feeling from the seller point of view, which is what I'm here to offer. And then was one of the better presentations I've seen at this conference, which was the Operators Podcast recording. I circled the biggest part of this recording, and I'm not going to divulge too much because I want to respect that they haven't published the episode yet, but it hit on a point where I'm trying to contemplate within my business of D2C versus Amazon, or I should say D2C versus exclusively selling on Amazon. There were a bunch of accomplished panelists that had pretty good points and a track record to show for it. So I liked how they presented all those points, and included a Q&A section so that a loudmouth like me can actually follow up and challenge some of them. And then there was another panel, AJ Patel, Maddie Henshaw, Dan Schaefer, and Mel's Turlu by MDS, $1 Million Sellers Club. Now, Mel's, I complimented yesterday on his agency. I love the idea. I love this presentation. Ask your customers, let them guide you, not your gut, because that's not a reliable source. And then there was what was voted, and I placed the vote for this, the best presentation of the conference. Simply Modern, from only Amazon to Omnichannel. He was amazing. I mean, I have just 4 pages of notes alone just from him, where he outlined the reality that it's hard to be omnichannel. It's hard to get into retailers, brick and mortar retails. You have a limited window, and you only have one chance in doing so. When he outlined the steps that are needed and the steps that need to be taken, the entire room was just quiet and tuned in. He had extreme value to offer, and really, he was delivering on where a lot of the sellers had their eyes set on. They wanted that. And then there was Dimitri, who presented on spotting brand trends and product trends. There were a couple of presentations again later with Anthony. They really hit on how you use Amazon brand analytics and product keyword research within Amazon, the 1P data, to find certain trends. This is Dimitri, one of the partners there, and he had a particular way of filtering through keywords and niches, just like AMZ Scout did, or AMZ Jungle AMZ, something like that. And it was just their formula of finding a niche or finding a product. Pretty complex, but I guess that's the service they're trying to sell. There was, of course, David Guillaume, who gave us a Kabbalist sort of presentation on how you have to be accepting of whatever your dreams are, and then they'll come. I think I did it justice by that one-liner. There was Gibran Niaz, the largest Amazon seller in the world. 600 million a year, 10 factories in Pakistan. Wow. I mean, the guy was obviously, he is literally the best at the game of Amazon. And it was amazing to hear what he had to say, and his mastery of the system really showed. It was quite funny to see a group of guys gathered around him after the conference finished, and he graced everybody with the time. I'm surprised that he's not more widely known. And of course, all the way at the very end was JJ Abbott, video ads on Amazon. He just got the point. Sponsored brand video ads on Amazon. He nailed it. It's a shame that towards the end people were fatigued, people wanted to leave, but he really nailed it, and he drove that point home of what a good sponsored brand video would do. So there was that, and he had a lot of value to deliver. It's a shame that it was the last presentation and people did get fatigued. On the sort of bigger picture, I liked how today there weren't concurrent sessions riding side by side. It was everybody all together, and I mean, the venue was great, and the networking was also good. I liked how they included more networking time this year. It was my first, but I just heard that there was less last year from the organizers themselves. So, I mean, if there's anything additional you'd like me to cover as far as more on a certain lecture, or I could give you a recap of my notes on certain lectures, feel free to leave a comment below. Also, if you want more of a critique on the content that was covered or wasn't covered, I'd be more than happy to go into that too. So you let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you. So I'm hoping to give you as much feedback just from the average seller as I possibly can. Let me know, guys.